Welcome to the program on machine learning. So many of you wondering what is this machine learning, artificial intelligence, and what are their various types. Welcome to the program on machine learning. So many of you. Sorry, there was a duplication in sound. So how what are the different types available, the real practical application of this machine learning model, let us understand in this brief session. As you know, many of the organizations, they are looking for candidates having knowledge of this machine learning. In fact, they call the candidates or employees as a supply chain analyst. By knowing simply Python or SQL, for that matter, even advanced Excel is not going to help. If you need advanced modeling, then you need understanding of machine learning. That's what we will try to understand in this session. Let me share a screen. Machine learning, of course, is a part of artificial intelligence, but more application nowadays is in the machine learning for supply chain. So far, maybe last 2 decades or so, the application was utilized in many field, maybe like healthcare, marketing, finance, like that. But in supply chain, only few global organizations, they were able to utilize the machine learning. So first, let us see what is machine learning. We are trying to teach the machine or the system by using the data. We are maybe we are giving the data for the last several months or periods, and then train the data, and accordingly it develops knowledge on the data. If you take for example, we have the driverless car. Now it is able to drive on its own, but behind this there were training to this system by various driver over a period of maybe multiple years. So the system is able to learn what is the speed of the driver, when he is stopping, how he is stopping, when there is a signal what he is doing, when something is crossing what he is doing. So all this comes under machine learning. I- in the main machine learning, we classify into three main categories: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and final is a reinforcement learning. Supervised means we are telling the system, this is dog, this is donkey, this is the like that. We are defining and giving the labels to the available database, and then when you are giving the new input, it is able to do the classification or regression. So in the supervised learning, as you know, we are talking about the data is already labeled. We are already telling yes or no, this is a male or female, like that we have already done, and then feeding the system with the new data, based on which it is going to do the classification or regression. As you see, in the supervised learning we have two different types. One is called classification. So based on the data and the label, if you feed any data, it's going to say yes or no, one or zero or one, or male or female, like that. And when it comes to regression, here we are talking about a continuous variable. Here it is able to predict a number. For example, forecasting, we use many tools to forecast a number based on previous year's history. There specifically we call that as a time series data. So it tries to understand what is the pattern in the data, like it learns what is the trend level and seasonality, and based on that it is able to forecast into the future. So supervised learning, you have a classification and regression, both have the data label available. Then in the unsupervised learning, you have clustering. You are segmenting a group based on their similarity. Maybe you can say these people are good customer, maybe bad customer, like that you can group them. And of course here we are training without specifically telling what is the characteristic of each of the data set. So the system is able to learn based on the features in the data set, and then it clusters the given data, And in the reinforcement learning, it is used for decision making. Of course, it comes with a reward and penalty. So the system is able to learn based on the error what it has done previously, and it incorporates the change so that the error is reduced. Of course, if you ask why these are required in supply chain, of course, in future, without having knowledge of supply chain, you may find that it is very difficult to get interview, and that's why you may see the designation are changing: inventory analyst, purchase analyst, material analyst. So it has become very much essential that you learn machine learning, and also more importantly application in supply chain. We have seen under supervising, we have classification and regression model. Classification can be used to classify yes or no. For example, you have a shortage or a back order. Based on the characteristic or features of a previous order, we know whether there was a back order, yes or no. And based on that data, that system gets trained, and whenever you feed a new features of a data, it is able to tell whether it will become back order, yes or no. Maybe even we can directly talk in terms of a shortage. Why a material becomes a shortage? If you know the reasons based on the past observation, the system gets trained, and when you feed the new data, it's able to tell the material will be shortage and not available on a particular day. And based on that, any emergency action can be taken. Regression is based on a value. It's not one or two, male or female, shortage yes or no. Here we are talking about a continuous variable. That's a particular number. Especially we saw it could be used in forecasting. You need to precisely tell what will be the forecast for coming periods, maybe months or weeks or even years, based on the previous data. There we call that as a time series data. Finally, clustering, for example, could be supplier performance. Based on various characteristic like on-time delivery or quality rejection, or maybe various other issue, like if you take innovation index or timely customer support. Based on this, you can, if you have the data which is not label, it is going to group them based on these features and tell this is cluster 1, 2, 3. Why we need this clustering is to handle such a similar group of customer or vendors, with maybe that could assist in vendor development. If somebody is poorly performing, we can try to train them and bring them to the next level. Or if somebody on the top level, maybe we can bench it or mark them, and try to train the other two category or clusters and move them to top. These are very few example. Of course, each case has a several application, and the organization expects you to do these kind of analysis for any improvement work. If you are doing only day to day repetitive work, then it is a clerical work in nature. So employers are looking, the performance should improve every week on week basis or month on month basis. And when you have large amount of data, the analytical tools are important, specifically machine learning algorithm. If you have knowledge, that could help. In this regard, we have many online live program on supply chain analytics. If you are serious or interested, you can comment either in LinkedIn or YouTube, and I am available for any clarification. If you need any doubts or clarification, you can always type in the LinkedIn or YouTube, either next few seconds or offline. Also, you will get the response. What is life without machine learning now? It has become an integral part. Of course, knowing only Python or SQL is not going to help. You need to use these kind of automated tools. Sky, SQL learn has lot of libraries, where you can import such library and use it for a particular application. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening. Bye.